Okay, Dr. Zuber, thank you for joining us today.
It's been my pleasure.
Yeah,
Yes.
so Dr. Zuber, why don't you just tell us a bit more about who you are and what you've done in your career so that the students can get to know you?
Well, graduated in 2005 from the University of Birmingham. I got accepted there in 2000 as an undergrad, and I applied to several different universities and was successful in two universities, both in Newcastle and in Birmingham. So I opted for Birmingham. And when I graduated, I did my foundation training in Coventry. And I moved back to where I've born and bred in Bolton. Since then, I operate a small group of mixed NHS private dental practices across the Northwest mainly. And we do everything from routine general dentistry to full arch implant work, IV sedation, restorative dentistry, and the journey has been really, really exciting, and it's been fun on the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, great.
And you've managed to acquire, is it 16 clinics now?
17,
17.
In total, if you include our specialist clinic as well.
Nice. And you do a lot of teaching as well for postgraduates. So what does that look like?
Yes. So in terms of the postgrad education, we run. So my journey has been learn, implement, and you advance further in your career. So your skill set needs to be wide enough to treat as many different scenarios as possible. So as a generalist, I train myself in restorative dentistry, in implant dentistry, IV sedation, oral surgery, etc. So it gives me a multiple array of skills to provide to my patients. So that when we started to develop our group, it naturally led to me teaching and training associate dentists formally through foundation training programs or internally through our own training structures, which then led me to sort of develop one-day courses on composite bonding and porcelain veneers, and then to formalize that to more 12-month certification courses or postgrad diploma courses, and now all the way through to degree level master's programs as well.
So what you're telling me is that you're able to take the newly graduated dentist and train them
Yes.
all the way up to give them any skills that they want, so they can go into any sector of dentistry.
Any sector in dentistry. So dentistry is unique like that, where you're able to pick and choose where you want to go, whether it's in oral surgery, which can lead into dental implants, or whether it's in more minimal invasive dentistry like composite veneers, composite bonding, teeth straightening, the ABC approach of dentistry, or more sort of tooth wear cases, restorative cases, porcelain veneers, crowns, bridges. And our courses are designed to be tailored for postgrad dentists that want to align themselves up to a formal academic qualification with clinical hands-on training, as well as the mentorship that comes with it. So our implant course, for example, allows you to treat patients. Our restorative course are taught by some of the best clinicians in the country that allows you to get 24 hands-on days on restorative dentistry, from everything from composite bonding to restorative dentistry to perio MSc course, where you are able to actually have not just the theoretical side, but get hands-on in how to cut gum, how to restore a gummy smile, etc.
Nice. So whilst you're at the other end of the spectrum, which is building the next generation of qualified dentists,
Yes.
we're at the other end of the spectrum,
Absolutely,
which
yes.
is building dentists in the first place.
Yes.
So I want to unpick your brain and find out what advice you have for students going into dentistry. And first of all, what would your top tips be for how do you actually get into the career?
So dentistry is I find dentistry is a unique profession, which is a mixture of science, engineering, and art. And I think if you are good with your hands, you've got a scientific mindset, if you're creative as a personality, I think dentistry suits you really well. So I think that's a fundamental. So if you are if you enjoy interacting with patients, if you enjoy working as part of a team, dentistry is your profession. Okay. To make the decision, once you've made a decision and once you know that this is the career that you want to enter, to prepare for undergraduate dentistry is another step. And I think that's where you come in. I think that's where your experience in preparing the sixth formers, even those delegates that are at GCSE levels, because they can start preparing from GCSE level, and in how to line themselves up with your extracurriculars, your supercurriculars, your academics, and all this allows you to line up so that your application, what is it? 12,000 applications that you receive?
Yeah, I think going into dentistry, we get around 12,000 applicants.
So 12,000 applications are roughly received in the UK, every year. Yes. For how many places?
1,000.
So there's 1,000 places. Yeah. There's 12,000 applications. So 1 in 12 chance of getting into dentistry, right? So you must be something special to be able to allow yourself to be even considered at the, let alone the interview stage, but just to get through, to receive just to get your UCAS application considered. Mm-hmm. And what they brought in recently, it wasn't in my time, they bought the
UCAT.
The UCAT.
Yes.
The UCAT. Yeah. I don't even know how to say it because I've not even, I didn't need to do it. So the UCAT is where a lot of delegates will apply, will do the test, and then they'll either have a score which can be considered for dentistry,
or unfortunately, a lot of applicants don't get high enough, and it just leads to the end of the application there.
And what's the average?
The average nationally is around a score of around 620 out of 900.
So average is 620.
Yeah, that's probably what the national.
And what do you actually need to get into dentistry?
So they say that the average score you need is around 700 out of 900. So you're talking in the top 15-20% nationally of all the test setters.
And am I right in saying, if I've read this right, that Medology has created this fantastic formula of teaching mentorship, both hands-on, digital, face-to-face, that you're able to mentor someone at sixth form to be able to get through the UCAT as a stage 1?
Yes, so we start even before the UCAT. Like, our mission is rooted in national tours, and we will try and get to as many students as possible and give them the insight that they need to build a portfolio. Then we'll help them by hand build that portfolio, by getting work experience, by helping them get extracurricular activities, by helping them do the wider reading. And then you have someone who has a really good knowledge into dentistry or medicine.
So you got 12,000 students that want to apply to this. And I think that figure has gone up.
Massively.
Right? That figure has gone up, right? Massively. So the appetite, every child you speak to, every parent you speak to, it's either going to be dentistry or medicine nowadays, right? So I think that this 12,000 figure, I think, has gone up, right? But you've still got the same number of places in dentistry, although there's some plans to increase those places. Currently, it's around about the 1,000 figure, right? So now you need to develop an undergrad, a college student, to be able to prepare themselves to be standing out above the rest. How do you do that?
It's a lot of mentorship. And like I said, we'll train them in the first year of college.
Academics plays a big part.
Academics will train them with, and then the portfolio will train them with, and then the bit that gets most people is the UCAT. But the students that go through our system and they engage with the courses, they always leave with enough to get into medicine or dentistry.
So you got the academics as the first hurdle.
Yes.
You've then got the portfolio.
Yes.
And that portfolio, we can sort of elaborate out in what that includes.
Yeah.
Then you've got the UCAT.
Yes.
But it's not just there, is it? No. Then it's the interviews.
Yeah.
So at the interview stage, you could have got all 9s.
All 9s, all A stars at A level.
Yeah, you could have all 9s at GCSEs, all A stars at A levels, and obviously you'll help the candidates to build on the academics as part of your offering. and as part of your support. But that's just stage one. And I think where a lot of people, a lot of students, a lot of parents are under the fallacy of is that I'm just going to concentrate on getting the academics. But you've just forgotten about the portfolio. You forgot about the general knowledge, the worldly knowledge that the UCAT assesses you on. And then you forgot about the interpersonal skills where they assess you during the interview stage. So there's so many different...
Yeah.
And from 12,000 at this stage, actually 12,000 is at this stage that they apply.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this number is even bigger. Because if they've got the appetite to apply for dentistry, but they find at A levels that they might not be hitting the academics, maybe they might not apply for dentistry at all then.
Yeah, so
Yeah?
a lot of the applicants, unfortunately, if they don't get the minimum requirements, it will mean that they have to...
What is that minimum requirement?
So it's about 8 AAA, 3 A's across the board.
3 A's in A levels.
In A levels.
And
With
GCSEs?
GCSEs, it varies depending on what university you want to go to.
Okay.
So there's some universities that don't consider GCSEs at all.
Okay.
And then there's other universities, like Birmingham where you went,
Yes.
that will expect the higher end of the grade, so 8s
Okay.
and 9s across the board.
Okay.
And then there's a few in the middle as well. So
And
it's a full range.
and this thing about some universities that only consider children, or well, don't consider children from students from a private education.
Yeah, so
Is that a fallacy, or is that something which is...
it is a fallacy. I think everyone will accept students from private education, but what now universities have started to do is increase their widening participation quota.
Okay.
So that means that they will give extra leniency to students from state school backgrounds or from low-income families or etc., etc. There's a whole...
As a priority.
Yeah, they will get priority.
I understand that. Okay, okay. So you've got through the academics, you've got, and now you're onto the portfolio.
Yes.
Medology helps these students prepare that portfolio. What does it look like?
So we split it into 4 domains. You've
Okay.
got extracurriculars,
Okay.
supercurriculars, which
Okay.
is wider reading, volunteering,
Okay.
and work experience. And we
Okay.
can work with you to build a map on how you can get that.
Okay.
And then also, it's not just about acquiring it. It's when you're in the moment, how do you reflect on your time there to add value to your application?
Okay.
Because there's no point going to work experience or volunteering and just standing there and doing nothing.
So the reflection's
you have to
important.
reflect on it, and you have to
Yes.
show that you've built your character. And
Brilliant.
that's where we'll guide them and explain how to do that so they can stand out from the crowd.
So someone who's academically astute, that's not enough.
That's not enough. And sadly, you will see stories of applicants who have the grades you described, 3A star predictions, all 9s at GCSEs.
I get calls all the time.
but they don't do
My daughter, my son, they're a very bright student. They've got all 9s in their GCSEs. They want to go into A levels. What should they do?
Yeah.
The first thing I say to them is go and speak to Medology. And we've had some success stories like that. We'll speak about later.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got the portfolio that you've done.
Yes.
Then you've helped the students with, and then you've got some courses that you provide to help them with the UCAT. I mean, if I took the UCAT right now, I bet I'll fail.
I think I would as well.
Yeah, really,
Yeah,
genuinely.
yeah.
I think
it's an exam where you have to really sort of train your brain up to think fast.
Okay.
And we recommend training for it for 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
In that time, you become a brain machine, like an IQ, mental math.
So is that testing your IQ?
That is like an IQ test.
Oh
yeah.
wow. Okay.
And
and you can't learn that overnight.
you can't learn it overnight. It takes time. It takes coaching. It takes mentorship.
And it's not just about reading a book.
We actually have a principle. Don't use books to prepare for the
Right,
UCAT.
okay.
You have to use an online platform
Okay.
because the exam's taken online.
Okay.
So if you're penciling in things in a book, there's no point.
There's no
because
point.
You have to learn how to use the techniques,
That
to
is
use
so
the
important.
computer,
That's so
to
important.
use the features on the computer to optimize your approach.
And is this for free? This mentoring? Is this coaching at an expense?
A lot of it is free,
Okay.
and then some of it is paid, but that's only when we're running a 9 to 5
Yeah.
full day course.
Well,
With
there's
specialists.
expenses,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's really powerful. So you've got the UCAT, where you've trained your delegates to get to that stage and to that level. Once they've passed, or there's no pass or fail, but there's a mark that they'll get that the university will consider. And so long as they've got above the average, their application will be considered. Right? What happens after that?
So after that, you then have to wait from the call from UCAS to see if
Okay.
you get an interview from each university.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that's another dreaded wait for students. So you submit your application.
And what about the personal statement that you write?
Personal statement is also done before you send everything off to you.
So you help.
We'll help with that.
You
as
help
well.
with the personal statement as well.
Yes. So
wow.
recently we've just done a tour going around the whole country.
Okay.
And we've sat with hundreds of applicants, and
Okay.
we've literally taken their personal statement from zero to finished in a few
Wow.
hours.
And do they all look the same at the end of it, or
Not
is
at
all?
all. It's every student's experience is different.
That's important.
Yeah. But
That's
we
very
do have
important.
structures and
Yeah.
frameworks to follow.
Okay.
But everything that comes out is unique because it's about telling your story and what you're interested in.
So now you've got onto hurdle 6,000, right? right. And you've got to the interview stage. You're lucky enough to get to interview stage. Does everyone get an interview?
No.
So what's the
acceptance
statistics?
rates from universities range from around 10% of students who get an interview.
To get an interview.
Sorry, who get an offer from the interview.
Okay.
All the way up to around 50%.
Applications to interview stage. How many, what's the sort of statistics up to that stage? And we
At
can
that
then talk
stage,
about it after
if
that.
you've got the requirements, around 30 to 40% of people will go on to get an interview.
Wow.
Yeah.
So less than half
Yeah.
of applicants
Yep.
will get through to the interview stage. And
Yeah.
you're only limited to apply to a number of
For universities.
4 universities only.
Yes.
So if you want to say, I want to apply for dentistry before you, but I might, just in case I fail, I just apply for, I don't know, pharmacy or something like that.
Yeah.
Could you do that?
That's possible as well.
That's possible
You
as
can-
well, as a
there's
contingency plan.
You can have any option as a backup. So some people go with medicine, some
Okay.
people go with optometry,
Okay.
pharmacy, biomedical science,
But maximum is 4 for dentistry.
maximum 4 for dentistry.
Wow. Okay. So you've got 4. So you've got an opportunity to get 1 interview or 4 for dentistry, and less than half of those get into that stage.
Yeah.
Now you're lucky enough to get a letter through to
Yes.
say that you have got an interview. What happens after that?
Then you get the call that you have an interview and it's time to train.
Okay.
Some universities will give you 2 weeks notice. Some
Okay.
universities will give you a month.
Okay.
So the advice we
So you've got some time to prepare for the interview.
You do have some
Okay.
time, but often 2 weeks or a month isn't enough. So we like a longitudinal approach.
Okay.
That as soon as you've sent off your application,
Yeah.
we then like to work with applicants to screen them. And we
Okay.
can very accurately predict if they'll get an interview or not because we have a lot of insight
From the early stage.
from the early stage.
Ah, right. So you're not relying on, I've got an interview. What do I do now? Let's call Medology. Oh,
Exactly. So when
shoot,
they
it's too
send-
late.
Exactly. So when they
Right.
send their UCAS application off, we collect their data, look at their application, and we can tell them if they're going to
This
get
is
an
your
interview or
strength.
not.
This is your weakness. This is what you
Yes.
need to work on. So you can start building that
Exactly.
prior to the interview, offering interview.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly. And
okay.
then for those applicants who are likely to get an interview, we capture them early and we say we're going to start training from
Okay.
before anyone else in the game
Okay.
is. And then we have something called the interview journey.
Okay.
Now this is our
what is that?
this is our flagship program.
Okay.
It's 12 weeks long,
Okay.
and in the last 5 years, it's helped thousands of students get into medicine or dentistry
Okay.
at a 90% success rate. So the national average,
Okay.
like we said, is anywhere from, you've got a 10% chance up to about a 40% chance.
Okay.
But with the interview journey, 90% of students will go on to get an offer.
I'm trying to process all these statistics. So let me get this right. So you've got a delegate that's gone all the way through to the interview stage.
Yes.
They've now got the interview.
Yes.
Right? Now they need to prepare. They've not got the offer. They've just got
Yes.
the interview.
Yes.
What you're saying is that 90% of those delegates that have had the interview offer and they've gone for the interview, if they've gone through the Medology course, 90% of those have had an offer as an undergrad.
That's right.
For medicine or dentistry.
That's right, yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yep, so that's why the course works. You've got, like I said,
Is this a bribe involved somewhere, or is it with
not
the
at all.
university? I'm only joking, right?
It's just care. We really do
Wow,
care.
okay.
We sit down with these students
Okay.
for 3 months on this program. We'll meet them 2 times a
And
week.
how many delegates go through this interview stage?
Each year we have around 400 delegates on this program.
And that's medicine and dentistry?
Medicine and dentistry.
So how about for dentistry on its own?
So in the last year, I think we had around 170.
So say 170 went through. About 150 of those
Yes.
would get an offer at the university.
That's right. They'd go
That's
on to become
phenomenal.
dental students. Yeah.
So from 1,000 places
Yeah.
that's available, those 1,000 delegates, obviously not all 1,000 delegates would have been gone through the Medology pathway, which they should.
Yeah.
Even from the early stage, from the 12,000 delegates, if all 12,000 delegates, effectively what you're saying is, went through the journey, I know that there's only 1,000 places available, but if all 12,000 went through, at least 90% from the 1,000
Yeah,
would have got places.
that's right.
That's phenomenal.
That's right.
So why don't students, I mean, people pay so much for tutoring,
Yeah.
they pay so much for this,
I don't know.
pay
I
so
don't
much for that.
understand.
Why don't they just engage? Because a lot of your services are free of charge.
Yeah. So the interview journey is a paid service.
Yeah.
But
A nominal fee.
a nominal fee.
Yeah.
And the amount of attention you get is like nothing out there in the world. There's 12 weeks of coaching where you'll meet up with a personal mentor 2 times a week. You'll get access to hundreds of example questions,
Wow.
40 hours of recorded content.
Wow.
You get in-person MMI days and panel interview days. So all the types of interviews that can happen, will train you for each one.
And you got
specifically.
just you yourself behind this, or is it someone else?
It's a
or-
team of 90 medical and dental students, doctors and dentists. And
You've
then-
got a team of 90. Let me just, I'm trying to process some figures here. You've got a team of 90 individuals,
Yep.
not bots,
Nope.
90 individuals that have been through the journey
Yes.
as medics or dentists that are supporting Medology
Yeah.
to support students to get into medicine industry.
That's right.
That's philanthropy.
That's right. So these students often have been through our system.
Wow.
So they were our ex-students.
Wow.
They've learned everything that we have to give. They go on to become medical and dental students and they think, you know what? I like what Medology do. I want to be a part of it as well. And then we take them up in with open arms and then we'll train them to become mentors and then they give back to the next generation of students.
And these guys are not just skated it through.
No,
These guys are, in fact, one of your mentors.
Yes.
She had the highest UCAT score in the whole country.
Close to the highest in the whole country.
Close to the highest.
Lie by yes.
That is
And
amazing.
that's not just one of them. There's multiple people in our team who've got
And what was the score?
It was, I think one of the highest in our team is touching 3,300, I think, which is, top 0.
3,300.
Yeah.
And what's the highest score you can get?
The highest score you can get is 3,600. Bear in mind,
And what's the average you need?
2,400 is what the average
Oh
score
my
is.
days, that's some Einstein level stuff going on
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah, crazy.
Crazy.
Crazy
Wow. Okay, so you got these superstars part of your team to help the new generation of
generation.
doctors and dentists
That's it.
come through. Amazing work. What an exciting journey. So a delegate can get from sixth form level all the way through to being enrolled into dentistry or medicine,
Yeah.
handheld through Medology all the way through. They obviously got to put the work in,
Yeah.
but the structure, the mentorship, the actual training behind what they need to prepare for is all covered.
It's all covered.
Wow.
And that's why I say now to schools, to organizations, if you need or you have a pool of people going into medicine and dentistry, if you have those bright students and applicants, connect us, because that sort of synergy is what is going to pump out more medics and dentists.
Absolutely
And
right.
not just
Yes.
medics and dentists, but very good medics and dentists who are
Yes.
trained to think the right way, act the right way. Because the standard of teaching that we give them, it's not just us teaching them, it's people like you and other people at the top of the NHS that come on and give their insights. So the insight that they get before even going into the career is what puts them ahead of other applicants.
Wow, amazing, amazing. I mean, anyone who's interested in getting into dentistry and medicine, I just see it as a no-brainer just to look up Medology and start their journey.
That's right.
Fantastic.
No-brainer.
It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
You too.
And I wish you and your system all the best.
And yours too.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.